So let's go and disconnect everything. I would disconnect the graphics card first because it's a little fragile. There's a little notch to press to release it from the PCIe slot down here. Yeah, pressed, and then slowly lift it out. There you go. Now it's out. So let's disconnect everything else. We got the power out. We'll take out the CPU power, the 24 pin. There you go. Okay, move everything out of the way first. So let's quickly open that up. Right, down the side here we have the tempered glass panel. And let's remove the box. All right. So here is our case. Right, first of all, we're going to open up the entire case just to make it easy to work with. So let's lay down on the side. And it just pops off like so on the side. Let's pop off the other side. You just slowly pull it on the side. It's magnetic pretty much. Oh, it's not, it's actually using these little pins here. But it does have a magnetic feel around the removal. Alright, let's get rid of all the things. So, let's remove the front panel first, like so. Whole top panel can be removed as well. So let's do that next. There you go. Slowly release. And yeah, okay. So that's everything pretty much. So this is the chassis of the NR200P. Next, let's remove this side panel. So this case actually has two orientations where you can install the graphics card. Number one, let me just let's just stand it up, which makes it easier. So looking from the front here, we can either have the graphics card mounted here, which means the bottom most likely will have to be intake to give the graphics card some air, and the top fans at the top, the two top, will put it as exhaust. That's option number one. There's a second option where we can make use of this bottom and maybe put the radiator down here and lie the graphic card along the front here. Yes, it will hide the motherboard, but you will have a good view of the graphics card, and the air coming, we will still have it as intake at the bottom here for the radiator, but the nice thing about that would be that the air will flow straight through the case and be exhaust at the top. I feel that this second option is a definite way to go right now. So let's give it a try. After the build is done, what we can do is we can run some thermal tests, and if needed, we may want to switch it down below and run a secondary batch of tests. But let's see how we get on with the CPU thermals and the GPU thermals, of course, once the system's up and running. So first of all, let's get the motherboard mounted. So here are the accessories that comes with the casing, along with some instructions there. So these are the two top mounting fans, which we will be making use of, I feel, right now as exhaust. So let's see how that works out. Take these out. And this is a short riser cable that's provided to orient the GPU as needed. So we'll be using that shortly. So all these screws that come with it, let's get on with the build. Alright, so just quickly checking which screws it is to use for the standoffs, and it's these very normal looking motherboard screws. The reason why I'm checking is because there are these very peculiar looking screws as well, so I need to figure out what they are used for later with what looks like more of a hand tightening feature to the screw. We'll have a look. Right, before we get the motherboard mounted, we're going to need the backplate for the board. So let's take that out. And have that installed like so. Alright, just making sure that it's secure. Yeah, we're good. Right, let's move the cables out the way. They do give some very nice straps here to do cable management, which is a very nice touch there by Cooler Master. Let me see, right. Let's bring the motherboard over now and align the back plate and have it slotted in. Alright, that's it, it's aligned, it needs to be pushed forward. Push it forward, yep, then we can put the screws in. So let's do that first. There's 4 screws that go in to hold it into place on each corner. That's number 3. That did not go down well. So let's do that again. Alright, that's it. One more screw down on this corner here. There it is. If the screws don't feel like they're going down well, when you start tightening, unloosen and tighten again, and typically the grip will bite, and therefore you shouldn't have any issues with getting screws stuck and having to round off the thread. Right, so the motherboard is now securely installed. Just do a quick wiggle test there. Right, looking at this board, I would say this will be very difficult to get to later on, so let's plug that cable in and have it ready and waiting. So, looking at the CPU cable, which is the one for this socket here, let's go ahead and plug that in, like so. See, it's very, very tight, so therefore doing this first will save you the heartache later on trying to get it connected. So we can leave that there for now. Again, same problem that we're going to have here with the on hindsight, we might even want to consider removing the memory to get all of the other connectors on, but let's have a quick look what we can do beforehand. So this is your HD audio that I was talking about earlier. We'll need to reroute that somewhere, but that connects to this. This is your USB 3, which connects right here. Let's see how we can best route this. For now, I'll just hook it up. There you go, it's in. Just having an idea of what the cable management will look like later. Okay, so here are the front header pins, reset switch, power LED, and looks like a blank there. They're all aligned, so therefore it should be a case of just plugging it in directly. Very nice job by Cooler Master for that, by the way. Which goes on the pins down here. Of those 9 pins, the one on its own doesn't need to be connected by the looks of it from here, so you just align to the right hand side and you should be good to go. There you go. I managed to get it in. Let me just double check. Yep, that's it. That's how it's connected. Right, last but not least, on the motherboard itself, on the front area, is the 24 pin. This may or may not be a problem. Let's see. It's quite a sturdy cable, so therefore it should just slide right in there. There you go, it does. So you can just plug that right in. Right, we are in a very good situation right now on the build. So I believe this we should be able to run in between and have a relatively tidy fit. I think next thing we'll do is let's get the power supply installed. So to do that, right, to install the power supply we have to remove the caging that's holding the that will hold it in. Oops. Let's remove all these cables out of the way. Right, got a flush. Okay, let's remove the cage. Holding the cage into place when you remove the screw, and slowly take it out. So that is the reason for this. Okay. Yeah. All right. Let's connect up the power supply next. Here's the screws. Nice Corsair sticker. The 4 power supply screws. Let's get that mounted. Make sure the holes are aligned. Slowly line them all up first, get them about halfway in, and then go ahead and tighten them. Alright, now that the power supply is mounted in its cage, we can go ahead and put it back in. Right. There's these hooks. These two hooks have to hook on, and these two holes align, and dropping the screws back into place. Line it up, slowly screw it. Right, again, don't tighten it up until the other screw has been aligned. Right, they're both in halfway. Let's go ahead and tighten up and the other one. Right, let's turn it back the other way. Have these Velcro ties that were coming through here. Put them back for now until we do the cable management later. Okay. Right. Next, let's run these cables all around where they should go. Let me see. Cannot go there. Right, so that's going to have to be the last cable. Let's get the... okay, this is a little tighter to work with. Okay, let me remove that again first. So, as we saw earlier, in my earlier video where we were connecting up, you won't be able to see through the video here, but the connectors are directly below here. I can see them very clearly from my angle here. So just plug back in. Now before I do that, let's connect up the okay, so this is the part that's going to be a little tough. I need to manage these cables. I wonder, do we have the luxury of running it? Nope, we don't. Lie these cables down. Accessibility is not great. These are the issues that a lot of builders have kind of come back with feedback on. So right, I think to make life easier, we're going to remove the memory. more room to work with. So I do want to manage these cables as well as possible, because with not having cable management, if you do not handle this well, you can potentially have all sorts of other problems later, overheating being one of them. So right, this one we'll have to run through here. Let's tie you down first. Done. Right, I think for the sake of handling mess, let's connect up the power first. Right there. Power supply cable go at the top here. Right. Let's try and do a good job at handling the managing the cables. So that's the first one. Let's connect you up next. And then we'll connect you up. Now